Hey there, Joel here, and welcome to this online class. Today we're going to learn a chapter from Standard 7, a science topic. And before I give out the name to you, let's watch this clip and let's see if you can guess what's the name of the chapter. So as you watch the clip, once you get an idea, I want you to pause the video and write it down in the comment section which is this chapter. So let's play this game and watch this video. It's a nice scenery of mountains, trees and wind blowing and clouds and nice view of the sun. Come on, try guessing the name of this chapter and write it down in the comment section. So I hope you have able to guess which chapter is this. If you still haven't got, let's give you another clue. Let me put up some sentences over here. Son, take an umbrella today. It may rain. Next, we are in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium and it's cold and pleasant. Mom, it's too hot outside. I want to have an ice cream. If you can narrow down these sentences to the chapter, it is amazing. If you still can't, let me give you another hint. Whatever we have discussed in those sentences relate to something which is related to rainfall, cold and hot, right? And by now you should be able to guess the chapter, and that is weather, climate and adaptation of animals to climate. My name is Joel and let's start this chapter. But intro तो बनता है. So, what do we mean by the word weather or the term weather? When I just try and Google weather report, this is what it gives me. And now when I look at this, is of course not at present, today's, whenever you're looking at the weather report, somewhere where I had taken it, okay, it tells me the location, it tells me the time, tells me the temperature, something called as precipitation, humidity, wind speed, and then a graph, and then how the sky is going to be. This entire gives me the weather report. So what is it? What is weather? So if you want to put it in a form of a sentence, then the day-to-day condition of the atmosphere with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called as weather. So I've highlighted a certain key words over there. Day-to-day condition, which means something that is changing every single day. Like, remember that first video I showed you? It was telling you that the change is seen, right? From maybe morning hours to afternoon to evening. The entire transition is seen. That is what we mean by day-to-day condition. It is something that is changing. Where? Not inside the room, in the atmosphere. Okay, with respect to temperature, that means in the morning the temperature might be slightly cooler. As the day passes or it's in the afternoon, the temperature rises, and by the time it is evening it comes back to low temperature. So the temperature has varied, right? Next, humidity. Humidity is nothing but the amount of water vapor in the air. That's the meaning of humidity. Rainfall, when the humidity is more, it is usually in the rainy season where there is rainfall, because there's a lot of water, right? So the water vapor is a lot more in the air. Wind speed, how fast is the wind blowing? So based on all these conditions, with all these respects, we can determine the weather. Okay, so weather is nothing but a day-to-day condition with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed. That is called as weather. Who gives this weather report? It is the meteorological department which calculates and processes all the information and gives. Okay, if you open the newspaper, in one corner of the newspaper you'll get what is the temperature, what is the rainfall and humidity. All this information is given to you by the meteorological department, and in Goa it is in Altino Panjim. So remember that the meteorological department gives us the weather report. Okay, a small assignment for you. You can cut out a weather report of any newspaper and paste it on your notebook. So, of past week. So, you can try every day and you will be able to see how the gradual change has been, whether the rainfall has increased or decreased, whether the temperature has increased. Do it for a consistent number of days. So, once you do that, you'll be able to understand how the temperature changes, how the weather changes every day. Next, how do we measure rainfall? The water from the clouds, falls down and gone. But how do we know that, today we had, more rainfall? Or sometimes, you must have seen or heard in the news that they say this year certain places experienced comparatively more rainfall than all the past years, or they say that the summer season were more bad than as compared to the previous years. So how do we tell that, how do we calculate the rainfall aspect? So to do that, we require something called as a rain gauge. Okay, it's an instrument that is used something like this. So what they do is they usually keep it in an open area where there is nothing above it, so that there can't be a tree or something, where the water will flow more into that small container. So, and it has some measurements, right? So those measurements help you to actually tell how many centimeters the rainfall has been for that day or for the particular month, and so on. Weather is such a complex phenomenon that it can vary over a very short period of time. So again, that clip which I had shown you, it is a complex phenomenon, something which is sec. Okay, it's a complex phenomenon. Complex, which means it is not very simple to tell, like, okay, wind is, with the speed of the wind is very high, so today the weather will be so and so. It is not just based on one aspect. There are many aspects involved in it to determine the weather. That is why it is called as complex. Okay, a number of things are involved, not just one parameter which based on which you can decide how the weather will be. So it's a complex phenomenon that it can vary over a very short period of time. It doesn't require a lot of time. You must have experienced, whenever you plan to go somewhere and you get up in the morning and then you look outside and you feel, okay, it's not going to rain, I'm not going to carry my umbrella today because the weather looks perfect. And by the time you are ready to go, actually dressed up and all set, you see that the entire weather, the sky has become turned black, and you know that for sure it's going to rain. So weather is a complex phenomenon which can change in a very short period of time. You can't tell that, okay, in the morning at 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock the weather is good, which means the throughout the day weather is going to be good. So it can change every single point of time. Sometimes you can experience the entire, kind of maybe a summer season, a winter, and a rainfall in one day itself. Not the season, but the experience of the entire feeling of whether it is a summer season or a rainy season. Sometimes you must have experienced that even in the rainy season, the afternoons are very hot, and then you say to yourself or maybe your friend that, wait, पासा तेम दिस होता सारकें गरम जात म्हाका. So that change happens because of the weather, and it's a complex phenomena which can change in a very short period of time. So how does this weather change? Who decides it? So weather, okay, is experienced or felt because all changes in weather are caused because of the sun. So sun is the main primary source which, you know derives this entire weather on the earth and even on the other planets, but we don't go to calculate in the other planets, right? So ignore them. On earth, so remember that sun plays a very important role. Then the distance of the sun from us is very large. So we are here and the sun is thousands and thousands kilometers away. Yet the change is felt. Then the sun is the primary source of energy that causes changes in the weather. So again, as I told you in the first point, it is because of the sun that there is a change in weather. When the sun is slightly closer to the earth, okay, that's the time you will start experiencing summer seasons. When the place, since the earth rotates and this particular place is away from the sun, you experience maybe winter season. So the change is experienced only because of the sun, because the distance from the sun and the earth derives the entire change. Now, whenever you go and just check out for temperatures, you might have seen that, a kind of a report like this. It tells you the maximum temperature, it tells you the minimum temperature. What do we mean by maximum and minimum? If I use a thermometer and, maybe your body temperature, use the thermometer and it will tell you one particular temperature. Does it tell this is the highest temperature your body and this is the lowest temperature of the body? No, it tells me just one temperature. So how are we saying that there is a maximum temperature of 36 and minimum temperature of 25? And that is calculated based on what time are you calculating the temperature. So maximum temperature is calculated in the afternoon, okay, so remember this maximum temperature, and minimum temperature is calculated early in the morning. So remember that maximum temperature, because the coolest time is in the morning and the hottest is in the afternoon, and again it cools down. But why do you think we don't calculate the minimum temperature in the evening? Because morning also are cold, evening also are cold, right? So why not in the evening? Why only in the morning? You can think about this a little bit, and if you get an answer to this question, then you can write it down in the comment section. I would be happy to read your thoughts on this question. So question is, why do we don't calculate temperature in the evening, the minimum temperature? Because minimum will be lower than maximum, right? Maximum is in the afternoon, but why not minimum in the evening? Why only in the morning? This is just a revision for you, just whatever we have studied in this entire video throughout till now. If you can get answers to these questions, amazing, you understood it perfectly well. On which factors does weather of a place depends? What is weather? Who gives the weather report? When is minimum temperature taken? Name the instrument used to measure rainfall. And when is the maximum temperature taken? So, see if you can find out the answers to all these questions. Next is, I want you to look at these temperatures, okay? So, the three seasons that we experience in India are summer season, winter season, and rainy season. These are the temperatures of a particular place, okay? And looking at this entire table from January to December, from the daily minimum temperature and daily maximum temperature, an average of those, you can see the amount of rainfall, and this is for the entire year. You have to think of which probable place will it be in India which can give you this kind of a weather report where the maximum minimum temperatures are 22, maximum are 31 in that range, and I think all the temperatures go just that way. So which place could this be? If you are able to guess that, super. Okay, and even if you find the answer to this question, you can write it in the comment section, so that it gives me also an idea that you are able to analyze and understand what I'm teaching in the right way. uh, Next, the average weather pattern taken over a long time, say 25 years, is called as climate of the place. We are able to tell the climate of a particular place based on the weather that we take, okay, over a long period of time, not just one day, 1 month, 1 year, but over almost 25 years we have to experience and know what has the weather been for throughout the 25 years. Based on that, if at all we were able to calculate or able to get very low temperatures, okay, for 25 years, that means we are in a colder region, or the weather, the climate of that place is cold. How do we get it? Not just taking, okay, if say for example today in Goa it just snows, which will not happen, but say for example it just snows, okay, can I say Goa comes under the place of cold region? No, because this weather is experienced only in one day. But we don't want one day, we want almost 25 years. So 25 years, if there was snowfall every single day, or every year or every month, then we can consider that Goa comes under a colder region. So a climate is decided or calculated or described based on what was the weather report for the past 25 years. You need that much of data to analyze to tell a climate of a place. But for weather, it changes instantaneously, right? So every second, every minute, the weather changes. So weather is taken over a short period of time. Climate is taken or understood for a longer period of time. Sometimes you can be asked the difference between weather and climate, so you should be able to tell what is the difference. Alright, with that I conclude this video. I hope you are able to understand whatever I've explained till now, and if you did, then please don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with your friends so that they also can learn about weather and climate in the most simplified manner. I hope I was able to put it across in the simplest form. And if you enjoy this content over here, then do consider subscribing because it's free. And what I've noticed is most of y'all who watch my videos don't subscribe. So please do subscribe so that you get that notification with that bell icon, every time I post a video, and so that your learning becomes more better. It's not about by hearting, it's about learning and understanding. So I hope I'm trying to do justice to whatever I'm doing. And may God bless you. Till then, take care and bye bye. Hey there, Joel here, and welcome to